Assalamu alaikum students, how are you? I hope you all are fine. Students, today we are going to do our next pages, page number 135 and page number 136. Students, here we are going to start our next unit, unit number 9, and the unit name is time. Do you know what is time? Time is the ongoing sequence of events taking place. Time, analog clocks. Students, do you know what is analog clock? A clock in which the hours, minutes, and sometimes seconds are indicated by hands on a dial. This is the first clock you see is an analog clock. To tell time on this clock is very easy. Students, are you ready to learn to tell time?
Hey, I am a clock. I am used to know the time.
Students, today we are going to learn time on analog clock. Here we have a round surface. It is called clock face. Minute hands, hour hand, and even seconds hand. We learn how to tell time with the help of analog clock. Let's start our learning. Students, this is the clock face. It has number 12 at the top and moves from the left to right. This is called the clockwise direction. So from number 12, we go to the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and back to the 12. Students, this is the hour hand shown on the clock in red color. This is the smallest hand of the clock. It tells us the hours we are currently in. And this is the minutes hand shown in the clock in black color. This is the longest hand of the clock. This tells us how many minutes we are into the currently hour. This is the seconds hand shown in red color. This shows us how many seconds we are into the current minute. Seconds hand tells us how many seconds we are into the current minute. Showing for this lesson, the second hand is not needed because tell the time does not require us that how many seconds have passed. So let's take off for now and let's start with our hands. This tells us the hour we are in. For example, this is 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and so on. If the hour in between the two numbers shown in the clock, we can say in a 3 o'clock range. Let us recall. Let us read the time on the analog clock. Students, here we have a clock and this one clock is called the analog clock. The hour hand is pointing at 2. Students, this one hand is called the hour hand and this one is the small hand of the analog clock. The minute hand is pointing at 12. Students, this hand is called the minute hand and this is pointing the minutes. Therefore, the time is 2 o'clock. So, the time is 2 o'clock. The minute hand points at 6. The minute hand pointing at 6 and the hour hand is between 2 and 3. 2 and 3 and this one hand is between these two digits. Therefore, the time is 2:30 or 30 minutes past 2. Students, the time is 2:30 or 30 minutes past 2. Write the time shown on the clocks. Students, here we have some clocks and we are going to find out what time the clock is shown. Students, at our first clock, here we have two hands of the clock. The hours hand is between 3 and 4 and the minutes hand is on 6. So, the time is 3:30, 30 minutes past 3. And we are going to write 3:30 o'clock here. Let's write it. 3:30 o'clock. C-L-O-C-K. 3:30 o'clock. Students, at our next clock, here we have two hands of the clock and the hour hand is on 4 and the minutes hand is on 12. So students, what time is it? 4 o'clock. We are going to write 4 o'clock here. O clock. C-L-O-C-K. 4 o'clock. Go for the next one. Here we have our next clock and at our next clock, the hours hand is between 7 and 8 and the minutes hands is on 6. So, we can say that the time is 7:30, 30 minutes past 7 and 7:30 o'clock. We are going to write 7:30 o'clock here. 7:30 o'clock. C-L-O-C-K. Clock. Go for the next one. Students, here we have our next clock and at our next clock the hours hand is on 5 and the minutes hand is on 12. So students, we are going to write 5 o'clock here. 5 o'clock. C-L-O-C-K. Clock. Students, we complete our page number 135. Go for the next page. Here we have page number 136. And here we have question number 1. The statement is, what is time shown on the clock? In the boxes. Students, here we have some clocks. And we are going to find out what time is it in these clocks. Students, here we have our first clock and at our first clock, two hands are shown on the clock. The hour hand is on 4 and the minutes hand is on 12. So, we can say that the time is 4 o'clock. Let's write it. 4 o'clock. C-L-O-C-K. Clock. The time is 4 o'clock. Go for the next one. Here we have our second clock, and at our second clock, the hour hand is on 7 and the minutes hand is on 12. So we can say that the time is 7 o'clock. Let's write it. 7 o'clock. O C L O C K. Clock. 7 o'clock. Go for the next one. Here we have our next clock. At our next clock, here we have two hands of the clock and they both are on 12. The hours hand is in black color and this one is on 12, and the minutes hand is on red color and this one also on 12. So we can say that the time is 12 o'clock. Let's write it. 12 o'clock. C-L-O-C-K. Clock. 12 o'clock. Here we have our next clock. At our next clock, the hour hand is between 10 and 11 and the minutes hand is on 6. So students, we can say that this time is 10:30, 30 minutes past 10, or 10:30 o'clock. Students, we are going to write 10:30 in the box. 10:30 o'clock. C-L-O-C-K. Clock. Go for the next one. Here we have our next clock. At our next clock, the hour hand is between 6 and 7 and the minutes hand is on 6. So we can say that the time is 6:30, 30 minutes past 6, 6:30 o'clock, and we are going to write 6:30 o'clock in the box. 6:30 o'clock. C-L-O-C-K. Clock. 6:30 o'clock. Go for the next one. Students, here we have our next clock. At our next clock, the hour hand is between 2 and 3 and the minutes hand is on 6. So we can say that the time is 2:30 o'clock, 2:30, 30 minutes past 2, and we are going to write the time of 2:30 o'clock. Let's write it. 2:30 o'clock. C-L-O-C-K. 2:30 o'clock. Students, we complete our today's work. You have to do it in neat way. Stay at your home. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz.